Right, I'm delighted to be joined by Jack Shaw. We've got a massive fight coming up in Canada. First things first, how are you finding Canada? What's it been like out
Cold, very cold. But
there?
coming from Wales, we're not new to the cold, so we're used to it. We're used to the. It's nice to at least it's not raining. It rains always raining back home. But yeah, all good. Nice place. People are very friendly. Hotel's nice. So yeah, enjoying it.
Certainly a beautiful country, and obviously you've got a massive fight, Yusuf Zalal. Tell me a little bit about him. What's the breakdown for this one, and how have you prepared considering it was fairly late notice?
Yeah, he's a very good fighter. He's good. He's good everywhere. I think out of his 6 fight win streak, I think 4 or 5 of them are by submission. But he's actually a very good. He's more predominantly, in my opinion, a kickboxer. So he's obviously very dangerous wherever the fight is. Yeah, I mean he's good everywhere, as is most people in the UFC. But I think I match up very well with him stylistically. I mean, like you said, relatively short notice, so I haven't had a massively long camp, and I think that will benefit me, to be honest, because one of them fights where I think my style matches as well. So I'm just going to go out there and fight my fight and do what I do and hope for the best.
You mentioned the kickboxing there. I think that was the first martial art you ever did, right? Was it your dad who got you into that? Can you tell me a little bit about the journey you've been on with him?
Yeah, so my dad got me into kickboxing. I was 6, so we're talking 23, 24 years ago now. He ended up obviously joining the gym as well a couple of weeks later. But with the kids would do the kickboxing, the adults were doing like jiu-jitsu and MMA. Fast forward a couple of years, he opened up his own gym, went off on his own, and that's when I started sort of my MMA journey, if you want to call it, at about 12 years of age. And it just spiraled from there. Went from training in a gym cellar to having a massive facility now in Wales, like a state of the art facility, one of the best looking gyms in the UK, in my opinion. So yeah, it's been a long old road, but it feels like it's gone by in the blink of an eye. It don't feel like it was 24 years ago I was starting out. It feels like it's absolutely flown by. And yeah, I'm very thankful that he did get me into it when he did, because it's gone from being a little hobby to now I'm can provide for my family and have a good lifestyle from it.
It's pretty amazing. Obviously, you talk about being in Wales with your dad. Now you're in Canada. You fought in Las Vegas on the Till Brunson card, I think it was. Can you tell me
Yeah, yeah.
a little bit about your Vegas experience?
To be honest, our Vegas experience wasn't what most people would think, because we went during COVID. So the first time we went was a couple of months before the Till fight. That was in April, and everything was pretty much on lockdown, so we couldn't leave the hotel because of the COVID testing. We had to train in the private workout rooms. No crowd, even in the Apex. So that one was a bit of a write off. And then the second one was a little bit better. We managed to go and see the strip and stuff like that. But again, because we at the time you had to do like a COVID test to fly to and from America. So what would happen was you'd have the morning of the fight, you would do your fit the flight test. So you do your test ready for you to fly on the next day. So if you, I think it was if you left the hotel after the fight, that test would be void. So you wouldn't be able to get on. You'd have to go and pay for another test to be able to get on your flight. So we didn't do no partying in Vegas after. We had a bit of a pool party in the hotel with Paddy and Molly and a couple of the boys who came out with me. But I enjoy Vegas. I enjoyed that. It was boiling hot. My old man isn't such a fan, but he don't like any city, to be honest. If it's not 10 up later, he's not much of a fan anyway. So but yeah, it was all right. I enjoyed it. Obviously, we fought in the Apex as well, which I quite enjoyed. It would also be nice to do the arena out there now and stay on in the strip like they do. But I'm sure that'll come in the future.
Yeah, it's a shame the Vegas experience didn't work out exactly as it was planned, but I imagine partying with Paddy must have been cool. So, with that all said, what is your favorite story for your entire MMA career?
Ooh, let me have a think. I've got a few. I feel I probably shouldn't say on camera, but I tell you a funny one. That party, that I say a party, it was a bit of a get together, but that was a bit of a wild night. And we had also I don't drink a lot anyway, and I didn't drink too much because after the fight, I just didn't feel like it, and we were flying home like pretty early the next day. So my old man said he's not much of a drinker, and he says to me, "Do you want to go back to the room and get some food?" Like, yeah, let's go have some food. But my other coach, Carl, and my teammate at the time, he's still my teammate now, but he came, Levi Batch. They were in full on party mode. There was no like they weren't cutting the night dead at 9 p.m. We were like, come on, boys, you gotta get we'll be all right. So we was like, right, fuck it, we're leaving by the pool. So me and my old man go up and have some food. Some food. There's a knock on the hotel door now, about half 11 in the night, like we were in bed. So I'd like peek through the hole in the door. And Levi and Carl both stood there in their swim shorts, no t-shirt, no shoes. They'd gone home and obviously chucked their swim shorts on. One of them had a bottle of vodka, and the other had a bottle of gin. Like, let us in, we're starving. And my old man, like, don't you dare open that door. He's like, you dare open that door. And they were absolutely howling. Get up the next day to fly home. Levi at the time was 20. So, it's like being 20. You don't suffer from hangovers. But Carl didn't stop being sick all the way home. So we do our connecting. We flight to Chicago first. And then we're about to get on a connecting flight from Chicago to Heathrow. We get to the gate, and the woman at the gate says to me, my old man, and Levi, yeah, going on. And so he looks at Carl and goes, "You're not on this flight." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And bear in mind, like, he's absolutely dying, never seen someone so ill. She's like, "No, you're not on this flight. Your flight to Heathrow with a different airline in Terminal 4. So the UFC had obviously messed up and booked 3 of us on one flight and one of us on the other. So he's never going to make the flight. So he was taken off in like 10 minutes. So he ends up having to do an extra 6 hours in Chicago on death's door from an hangover. And I don't think he's ever drunk since. And that was, 3 years ago. So he's scarred him for life. Like,
Well, it's amazing that you've managed to get all these anecdotes from your career, and it's amazing now because you're sort of getting anecdotes off other people with your podcast. Can you tell me a little bit about that? And is there any dream interviewees that you want to get on that show?
yeah, the podcast, I mean, it's more of it's not something I'm not going to make money from. It's like a passion project. I've always been good at like being interviewed. So my guy Joe does it with me. I put a message out before looking for someone to do some filming for me for YouTube, and he messaged me, said, "I'll do it." And I was like, "Yeah, right. What do you charge?" He's like, "I'll do it for free, but you got to start a podcast with me," because he had his own podcast at the time. I was like, "Right, go on, then we'll give it a go." It's been really good. Like, and I like for me was obviously having Joe Calzaghe on. Joe's like a childhood hero. Grew up watching Joe, and he's the man. He's the main man in Wales, especially when it comes to fighting. So to get him on was crazy, and it's died down a little bit the last few months. Joe's missus has had a baby, and also I've been in training for a fight, but it's still something we enjoy to do. Dream guest, I don't know. There's loads and loads I could list. Especially like the big UFC names and whatever. But anyone really. We try to keep it like well spaced as much as we can. Like I'd love to get like some of the bigger UFC names on, obviously. But we just enjoy. I mean, we've done really well so far. I like we had Calzaghe on, Flex Lewis. It's just been insane to gather people on. We're in a little spare room in an hairdresser's in Ganlin and in Evervale. So to get who we've had on already has been amazing. But yeah, there's loads of guys I'd love to get on, and fingers crossed, obviously in the future we'll get them in.
Fantastic stuff. And I don't know if you're much of a gamer, but you've
Oh
been
yeah,
added to the UFC game now.
yeah. I'm a massive gamer. I've always been in always games when I was a kid. I don't hardly ever play the UFC games. But obviously, when they put me on, they had to buy it, and I've had 1 or 2 goals on there, and it's all again. Every time I get tagged in a random photo online, it's never anything other than someone knocking someone out or me getting knocked out on the UFC game. But I reckon their sales have shot up a bit because I know a lot of my mates and a lot of the kids from the gym. I was like, right, go buy the UFC game. But that's awesome. Like it's to be like a gamer for 20 odd years, and then to be put in a game where I can show my kid in the future. Like, look, I was famous. I was half famous at one point. Is awesome.
And it's great. Obviously, you've got a big fight coming up this weekend. Last weekend, there was a massive fight in your weight division. We had Holloway and Taporia. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Tapori's just a beast. I thought Holloway did really well for as long as the fight went on, but it just felt like he was one punch away. Like every time they would get into an exchange, you just felt like Ilya was just getting closer and closer and closer. And then he landed that big right hand, put him on skates. And to be fair, he's that good a boxer and he punches that hard. I think if he rocks anyone, he's probably going to put him out. And to put Max Holloway out, as we know, is not an easy task. So it was a massive, massive win. And I'd be interested to see where he goes from. Yeah, I mean, I know everyone's talking about the Volk rematch and Lopez, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just move him straight up a weight to fight for the lightweight belt.
100%. Jack, thank you so much for giving me some of your time. I really appreciate it. But before I let you go, is there anything else that you'd like to speak about?
Yeah, no, thank you for having me on. Just the same old generic. Big thanks to my coaches, my teammates, my friends, and my family, my my girlfriend, well, my fiance now, Katie, and my boy Fraser. Just thanks to everyone for their support last couple of weeks. It's been massive since the fight got announced, and yeah, feeling good. I'm looking forward to putting a good performance on Saturday.